All right, good morning, everybody. It's a little unconventional here. I know the lighting is a little whacked up and everything, but we're gonna make do. All right, I'm going to start today's video with the games that I watched. And I'm going to give you detailed coverage of. Actually, I watched these three games in their entirety. I watched two of the other games. I've watched at least a full period's worth, and then we're going to talk about the last game. Why I'm starting with the detailed games, you'll understand later on. All right, so first game, it's Connor versus Connor. Connor McAnanama in goal for the Binghamton Black Bears. Connor McCullum in goal from the Danbury Hat Tricks. And two worthy, well-deserving stars. As just seeing the score 3-2 does not tell the whole story. Both goaltenders played absolutely fantastic, and it was a great, very, very entertaining game. And let's get into this. Early start for the Black Bears. Jamie Bussell scores on a power play, gets the power play right away, and within 12 seconds, bam, conversion. That's a 2:55. Later on, Chase Harwell, 9 seconds into a power play, bam. Nobody wanted to play on the penalty kill, I guess. Excuse me. So Chase Harwell scores to even things up, and that was at 5:10. And then things would kind of not bog down. Definitely wasn't a bogging down. It was the goaltender stepped up. Both of these teams going at it. A lot of high energy, a lot of puck movement, a lot of shots, and a lot of great saves. And it stays 1-1 until the one mistake that Connor McAnanama made last night. He goes to handle the puck on a dump in, accidentally gives the puck right over to Corey Anderson, and there we go. And that's a shorty. Binghamton was on the power play. That was a shorthanded goal. So it's 11:24 of the second. Danbury's now up 2-1. And then they kind of got locked in defensively. Unfortunately, not right before, I guess it was about 4 or 5 minutes before that game. It was a freak collision. There was a knee-on-knee hit. Emerson Emery and Xavier Abdullah. Abdullah goes out. It just looked like a complete freak thing. It did not look intentional whatsoever. But so Abdullah, he goes out, and so I'm gonna wait to hear how he's doing. A few minutes later, Dan Stone from the Black Bears, he goes out with an undisclosed injury. So yeah, two big defensive contributors now out of the game. In the third, finally, little bit of undisciplined play from Danbury. They get two guys in the sin bin, and Gavin Yates ends up cashing in. Top shelf, he goes one hole. With a goalie, you have 1, 2, down low, 3 and 4, and then 5 hole. We all know what 5 hole is, so I called it 1 hole. But excellent shot. That ties it up. Late flurry by the Hat Tricks yields nothing as McAnanama shuts the doors. Too many Connor Macs in this game. So we go to overtime, and again, a key moment. Ratcliffe gets called for hooking, and it was a pretty obvious call at 1:22. Binghamton goes in the power play, and initially it looked like Cam Clark ended up putting the game winner home. At the end, they ended up giving the goal to Yates. I thought Clark had it, but that's just me. So there we go, 3-2. Shots in the game, 54-44. Lots of shots. And I tell you, of the 51 saves that McCullum made, I would say easily 20 of them were difficult, big saves. McCollum was a beast last night. And you hate seeing a guy get a loss in a game like that, but sometimes that's what happens. All right, so yeah, Yates gets credited with 2 goals, and Kirkby 3 assists on the night. He assisted on everything. McAnanima 42 of 44 in the save department. Corey Anderson had that shorthanded goal. And then Jacob Ratcliffe, he assisted on both goals, so a couple of players had a lot of apples. McCollum, 51-54, again, fantastic performance, and I was very glad to see both goaltenders get recognized with stars of the game. So Binghamton improves to 4-1. Danbury is now 1-1. Crowd of 1799 on hand. All right, let's go on to the Rockers and Wolves. Guess what? The Wolves are legit. Yeah, they are legit. They not only generate a lot of offensive chances, but they're playing much better than they had the last couple of years in their own zone as well. So, yep, it's Babin, the return of the Dark Knight. He comes in and takes the pipes for the Rockers. It's Anton Borodkin. He has played the last 4 games in a row now for the Wolves, and showing he deserves it. So yeah, hello. So we start off the game, and it's Kyle Heitzner. Heitzner, you're just gonna be a trouble, aren't you? Sorry about that. Somebody wants to steal the show. All right, so yeah, Kyle Heitzner, what a start of the season he's having. Snapshot from the circle. It's 1-0 at 4:25 into the game. We had Tate Leeson scoring on the power play at 11:56, and Trevor Lord contributing on a breakaway, a shorthanded breakaway, another shorty, and that's 14:31. So just like that, it's 3-0. Rockers find themselves in the hole. And unfortunately, this is what's going to happen when you give up 19 and 23 shots per period. There has not been a whole lot of commitment to defense for the Rockers, and hopefully that's something that Coach Steve Shannon can figure out. Okay, into the second. First goal of the period is Adam Kuhn at 101, so he gets the Rockers on the board, but that was going to be it as far as Rockers making noise. Now, they did generate a good amount of shots in the third period. They got a lot of pressure on Borodkin, but Borodkin turned it all aside. 9:42, it's Trevor Lord again. So Lord had 2 goals on the night. And then, so yeah, at this point, it's 4-1. And the third, the Wolves just opened things up as the Rockers had to take more chances offensively. They left more open in their defensive end, and the Wolves cashed in. Tate Leeson again at 54 seconds in. So Leeson had 2 goals on the night. There is a goal that is waved off, very clear interference. That was about the 8-minute mark. Carson Baptiste, he was basically draped over Borodkin's blocker side, so it was a no-goal. Later on, Carter Thornton gets on the board at 14:21. Beautiful tip play, shot from the point, and he tipped it right past 5-hole. And then at the end, it's Ross Bartlett at 17:23 on a power play opportunity. 7-1 is your final score. And yeah, 54 shots on goal. That's what I mean. This is an occurrence now, a regular occurrence with the Rockers. They've given up 51 shots, 62 shots, and 54 shots in the 3 games they've played this year. Not good. All right, so Adam Kuhn had that goal. Babin ended up saving 47 shots, but 54, that's a lot of rubber to face. All right, Leeson, 2 goals and 2 assists on the night after he was unavailable for personal reasons last week. He just picked up where he left off. And then Heitzner, a goal and 3 assists. and Anton Borodkin, 32 saves on 33 shots. The Wolves are 4-1, and they're a legit 4-1. They are in first place in the Empire Division, 1 point ahead of the Binghamton Black Bears. The Rockers fall to 1-2 on the season. An announced crowd of 446. I guess there's some stuff going on. Not a lot of volunteers that are available to take care of daily operations, and so I don't know, maybe fans are picking up on that. I don't know. It's the time of year too. There's still a lot of stuff going on in the neighborhood with high school sports and stuff. All right, so final game that we're breaking down. The Athens Rock Lobsters go to David S. Palmer Arena, take on the 0-2 Dashers, and well, first of all, a good crowd. I'd say I did not see an actual attendance number. That's why I don't have one written down. But it looked like there was a little over 1,000 people there. And again, considering everything that's been going on behind the scenes there, that was great to see. The volunteers that have stepped up and are doing this and that behind the scenes, fantastic. Too much information to go through right now, but the volunteers are working their hearts off. They're working as hard as the team. I tell you. So it was really good to see. Yeah, there were some snafus with the video, but as far as the game calling, Devin Dobik really pleasantly surprised me. Usually, when you get a brand new broadcaster, you know they're struggling with their rhythm and their cadence with the play calling. Dobik sounded like he's been doing this for a while. He's done baseball. Baseball and hockey are two different animals. So shout out to Dobik. You did a great job. All right. Get into the game, and where have we seen this before? Garrett Milan scoring within the first minute. Athens is up 1-0. Puts a puck home past Parker Rutherford. And that would be the only thing that Rutherford would give up all night. Yeah, Athens feeling pretty good about themselves. And I tell you what, it was a combination of two things with this game. One, Athens struggled. They struggled with their game flow. They were getting shots on Rutherford, but not many quality shots. Rutherford did make a few big saves, but for the most part, it was easy. It was easy going for him. Meanwhile, Dashers, they looked structured. They worked hard. They looked like a team that wanted to win, and oftentimes that's the thing you need the most. So yeah, 15:49 of the second period. It's Yegor Kabatayev scoring on the power play, evening things up. The crowd's going nuts. The crowd is into it. There were cowbells aplenty. Unfortunately, some were like in the camera view, but that's okay. And small things. All right. Third period. We go into the third period, tie up at 1. Shots after 2 period were Athens 27 and the Dashers 23. So pretty even play. Athens isn't used to dealing with this kind of structure. So goaltender Jack Bostet, he had already surrendered the 1 power play goal, and yeah, he gets beaten at 6:39. Beautiful, beautiful play. Zach DeMars with a wrister from the high slot, and it is now 2-1 Dashers. Yep. A little more energy needed. So right after the goal, there was a little tussle between Lester Brown and Malik Johnson, center ice. That really did get the crowd fired up. All right, so yeah, we're holding it 2-1. We're holding it 2-1. We get late in the third, and Athens takes a timeout with 56 seconds left. They pull Jack Bostet, and wouldn't you know it, it's Yegor Kabatayev scoring into the empty net at 1936, and you have a 3-1 Dashers win. Your eyes do not deceive you. Yep, this happened. This happened. Great opening for the Dashers. They needed this. They really needed this, and I think this is really going to boost them with attendance and with just interaction with the community. This was great. So yeah, Milan with the goal. Bostat 28 of 30 in saves and 59:04 played. Kabatayev, the 2 goals. Demars with that game-winning goal, and then Rutherford stopping 40 of 41. Demars is second in the FPHL in save percentage right now. How about that? All right, so yeah, Dashers improved to 1-2, and Athens suffers a first defeat. They're now 4-1, and we're going to change boards, and the tempo of this is going to change as well. All right, so yeah, let's change the boards. Just highlighting these games. First, we had the Hudson Valley Venom hosting the Port Huron Prowlers, and Venom get their first win. It's a 4-3 victory. Hudson Valley had the upper hand during the majority of this game. They were either up or the game was tied. And Port Huron really had a hard time generating good shots on goaltender John Moriarty. Sokolov in goal for the Prowlers. He had a bit of a shaky stretch in the second period, but for the most part, he played well. But we were a 3-3 tie. It's late in the game. It's 17:57, and it is Quinn Chevers scoring. And a lot of people going, who? Hudson Valley knows who Quinn Chevers is. They actually, made quite a presentation when they signed him. They put out a press release and everything. So yeah, they definitely believe they have something in Chevers, and apparently, yeah, they do. So despite being short-manned, Hudson Valley only dressed 16 because of the suspensions to Pickford and to Swanson. They played well. So yeah, the big key of this game, not only was Port Huron having a hard time getting quality shots on, but they got themselves into a lot of penalty trouble. Now, it was just all minor penalties, but even though they only gave up 1 power play goal, if you are playing shorthanded for a third of the game, you're going to have a hard time generating offense. So that's something the Prowlers need to work on. That's the key. Sokolov ended up saving 28 of 32, Moriarty 28 of 31. And Hudson Valley improves to 1-2. Port Huron falls to 1-2. An announced crowd of 333 in attendance. It looked like maybe 100, seriously. So that's a little scary. That's a little disconcerting. It was a thin crowd. All right. Second game that we're just highlighting. Another offer. This is what, the 4th shutout we've had this year, and we're only in the 3rd week of the season. And this time it's Hunter Vorostik's turn for the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Yep, he turns aside all 39 shots he faces. He did get the benefit of a little help from the referees on a correct call. It was correct. It appeared that there was a goal very late at 19:11, but it was waved off because it was batted in with a high stick, and it was the correct call. Meanwhile, you had Joel Frazee getting the first goal at 16:16. That ended Boris Babik's shutout streak at 96 minutes and 16 seconds. That was the first goal he had surrendered, the only goal he's surrendered this year, because the other 2 were empty netters. It was a defensive battle. It was a well-played game. Both goaltenders played well, but Vorostik, played a little bit better and got himself a shutout. Big win for rivalry game. Carolina now Carolina's in a bit of an identity crisis because they're not getting a lot of offense. They had 4 goals in the first game, 2 goals in the first period of the game last Saturday, and then nothing since. So you've got Baker, you've got Ford, you've got Kramer, Butita, Panicek, got a lot of offensive potential, and it's just not clicking. So kind of interesting. So yeah, Voracek with the 39 for 39, Babbitt 21 of 22, and 1241 the announced crowd for that game. And I want to talk about this a little bit. It's unfortunate that you have games like this. Very, very, very unfortunate. And yeah, it was not pretty. So as far as the game goes, it was a typical game. Mississippi was getting shut out again, though. This time by Brendan Colgan. Well, big surprise there, right? I mean, Colgan now has 10 shutouts on his career in the Fed. First, I believe he's the first one to reach 10 shutouts in Fed history. I'm going to have to go back and check that out. But Trevor Roy taking the net for Mississippi. He's on a 4-game tryout. He looked good, but a couple got by him. Game winner ended up being Brody Thornton at 10:48 of the first. That ended up being the game winner on the power play. And then you had a couple other goals. Garwood scored. I forgot who scored the third one, but nonetheless, it's 3-0. It's 3-0. We went through almost half the game at 3-0. And the crowd of 32-14 is delighted initially, and then we had the incident. We had Carter Aha skating from his defensive zone from near the circle all the way to the blue line to make a beeline, and he just obliterated Nick Catola. And Catola goes down. It was a high hit. It was a charge, a 5-minute ejection. The game was suspended at that point. Catola was out cold and was tended to by the paramedics. I want to give a big shout out to Justin Barr from the Seawolves. When the incident happened, he was one of the first on the scene to attend to Catola. This was not shown on camera. Once the hit happened, and yeah, you can review the hit. I'm sure it's gone viral at this point. Enough people have posted it. Justin Barr, he is a trained EMT. So he was helping out. There were 4 paramedics and the team doctor all attending to Nick Catola, and I hope to hear some good news today. He was taken to the hospital. The game was suspended with 4:25 left, as it was just there was no sense in playing after that. The game was essentially over, and you just had a person suffer just an absolutely devastating injury. And so our thoughts and prayers go to Nick Catola. Again, I hope that news comes out today. I hope the team is able to release a statement kind of saying, he's stable, he's okay. But yeah, it looked very, very scary. That's the kind of thing that does not belong in the game. I'm still more concerned about Catola than I am mad about Aha. But yeah, this is worthy of a long suspension. Yes, it's a first offense, but there is no place in the game for hits like that. And if you want to find out what I'm talking about, go to Baton Rouge's Facebook page, because they'll have it posted. And you can see the hit and just how devastating it was. It's scary. It's really scary. So that was the game. Shots were 29-21. Trevor Roy takes the loss. Colgan gets an abbreviated shutout. And that was that. But again, thoughts and prayers to Nick Tola. All right, I'm running long, so I'm going to cut this off. I will be at the Binghamton Port Huron game tonight, singing the national anthem. So good luck charm there. We'll see. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you again tomorrow.